Now you should be able to hear. I keep forgetting that stupid mute button. Morning, guys and girls. Yeah. All right. Today's actually going to be a really short one. I want to give it a minute or two for any late stragglers to kind of jump on and join us. But today's going to be short. Tomorrow I'm going to come on at 11 for anybody that may have questions about the lab. But basically, I'm going to intro it. You can see it. Nope. Up there in the corner. And then I'm going to let you guys get to it. So it shouldn't be too challenging or difficult. Of course, I say that about every lab, and sometimes y'all still prove me wrong. Qtron, is that Quincy? Ah, figured. So, I don't know if you guys have heard. Have you seen all the news about all of the like 20 somethings down in Florida spring break basically raising a long finger digit to the entire threat of the coronavirus? Well, now it turns out there's a heck of a lot of them ending up getting sick right now. Starting to also disprove this whole idea that it isn't dangerous to teenagers and 20 somethings. So keep safe. Alright, it's been a couple minutes. On the home front, all of you should be very, very glad that right now, um, we're not in class. Because this morning my dog went outside to use the bathroom and proceeded to meet a skunk and to get skunked very directly right in her dumb dog face. And now the entire house and everybody here stinks like skunk from it. So you're now being saved from needing to be in the classroom with me because you know I still would have shown up. Not like I'm sick or anything. Fun stuff. Yeah. All right. Why don't we start for today, though? Yesterday, we went over the slides for the immune system. We went over the basics of how the different cells interact. Remember, when an invader gets through the skin, finds some way in, whether it's a cut, an abrasion, whether you breathe it in like coronavirus, what's going to happen is your immune system is first going to do the non-specific reaction, which is inflammation, swelling, heating up, trying to let the white blood cells get there to do the second part, which is the specific response. And for that, your macrophages will come up and nom 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 nom, eat them like Pac-Man. It will then present the pieces to a T cell. The T cell will identify those pieces, share it with a B cell, and activate a B cell to make antibodies. Your lab today is basically going to be taking a look at blood samples, taking a look at some of those blood cells that we've just talked about and we went over yesterday. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to diagnose a disease based on the count of their different blood cells. So it should be pretty straightforward. Now, I will suggest that people try to help each other out if you wish to in order to do this lab. I'm going to give you guys the time today and basically the time tomorrow in order to get this done, basically and only because the counting section of it can take a lot of time, especially if you're doing it solo. And I know that some of you are just going to be like, ah, to hell with it, I'll just do it myself. So, a little bit of extra time for that. Starting next week, we'll be up to more normal class-like sessions and doing the things that we normally do. So, I don't know if you have the PDF yet. If you don't, you can take a look right over here. And I'm going to kind of scroll through it and explain to you guys what you're going to be looking for. So the first part of this is pretty straightforward. There's a little bit of reading here at the top. Make sure to go through it. On the front, you need to define these four terms: diagnosis, platelet, red blood cell, and white blood cell. For these last three, platelet, red blood cell, and white blood cell, just define them by the job that they do. So don't worry about, if you look them up on Google, you are going to get very, very long descriptions. don't stress over that. Just define them by the job that they do. So for instance, the red blood cell we already talked about because we went over it with the respiratory system, and we know that the red blood cell carries oxygen. So that's all you would need to write down for red blood cell is carries oxygen. Hopefully that's pretty clear. Alright, so then we're going to move on to the next part of this, and this is where most of the work for the lab is going to come in, but it's not hard, it's just time consuming. So over in this area, on the right hand side of what I'm showing you at the bottom of the first page is figure 1, the normal blood sample. And this is the tricky part, because for each one of these blood samples, and just to show you, there are a grand total of 6 of them. You need to count every cell in that circle, and we're going to be recording them. Now, my suggestion is pretty straightforward. It's not too hard to do, but first we need to identify which ones are what. Now, they have a description on that first page for it, but in case that's not clear enough, I also set it up like this. So, you're going to count each sample. The white blood cells are anything that you can see a nucleus inside of. So right now on the little inset of the lab, if you take a look, there are 3 cells that you can see some sort of colored in section inside the cell. That's a nucleus. Those 3 are white blood cells. Anything that is a hollow circle, that's one of our red blood cells. And anything that's just kind of this little black disc, almost like just a mark, that's a platelet. So you're going to count all of them up in each one of these pictures, and then you're going to record them on the third page, where you see this data table. Now, in this data table is the trickier part, because for this, what you need to do is you need to record, I rewrote it down here. What you need to do is you need to record the actual number that you get for each one, red, white, and platelet, and then you also need to rank them. Now, each figure, this is figure 1, will be ranked separately from all the other figures. So figure 1 will get rank 1, 2, and 3. Figure 2 will get rank 1, 2, and 3. Figure 3 will get rank 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully you guys get the idea. And basically all we want to do is we want to take a scenario where, let's say that we count 54 red, 4 white, and 17 platelets. The rule for the lab is when we're ranking them, number 1 is the most, number 3 is the least. So then we come down to this rank, we'd go, alright, red is 54, so that's clearly the most, rank 1. Whites are 4, they're the least, number 3. Platelets are between the two, number 2. And now figure 1 would be all set, and you would move on to do figure 2. As you go through and you count these, yes, the PDF is on Schoology. It's already loaded into the Thursday, March 19th folder. Now, there are a couple different ways that we can do this, and I will leave it up to you guys to figure out how you want to. First option, you can open up the PDF on a program like Cami, modify it, and then share the end result with me. Option 2, you can print it, fill it out, and then bring it into school once we go back to school. Option 3, if you want to take a separate sheet of paper and you want to recreate the little data table that you can see right up over here, there we go. You want to fill that out? You can do that on the sheet of paper. Then the questions on the back, you can just number them. 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, and just give me your answers. Just on that separate sheet of paper, take a picture of it with your phone, email it to my norwichcsd.org account, and that'll work too. All we need to do is we just need to be able to prove that, yep, it's been going. If you're better typing it and you want to do it in a table, you're welcome to do that. Literally any way that guarantees that I get some copy that shows that you did it will work for this. I'm sure the state's going to be kind of lenient on lab evidence, since basically every school in the state is going at least online for the next several weeks, if not longer, because we're looking like this may extend some. We'll have to see. Now, the last part of this, and the trickiest part for a lot of people, is back here at the bottom of this data table, because here it says disease diagnosis. And for that, what you need to do, yes, Caleb, I'll get the whiteboard up in just a moment. What you need to do is you need to take each one of these and you need to compare the blood cell counts or what you're seeing in that blood sample to these disease descriptions down here. And when you find a match, you have identified whichever disease that individual had. Which is why I'll be back tomorrow at 11, so that if you guys have questions, if you have stuff that you're not sure on, then you can ask it. Alright, now Caleb, you wanted to see this one more time. White blood cells will have the colored in part, and the hollow ones are our red blood cells. Quite often, though, I should warn you, the white blood cells aren't going to be quite as clean as this. They're going to be shaped like this, but then the colored in portion of the nucleus may do some weird stuff like that. That still qualifies. That's still okay. That's still a white blood cell. We have somebody lurking. Hold on a moment. Gideon, you're wearing a helmet and drinking milk. Come on in. Why are you creeping? Oh, ninja training. Alright. I know, he's far more interesting than I am. Gideon, do you want to come up to say hello to people? Come here. Hello. I know, right? Yes, this is my child. I missed the classroom already. Sure. Yeah. Alright, buddy. I gotta go. Gotta finish this up. Kayla, why do you think I keep including him each time? If it gets one person to show up that wouldn't otherwise, I will do this every day. Alright, so with that, you guys should have the lab. You should have the basics. Hopefully that helped. If not, this video is going to be on YouTube in just a few minutes. So you can go back, check it out. Does anyone have any questions for right now? Daily Gideon is a very important thing to everyone's well-being. Alright, if everyone's all set, I'll be back tomorrow at 11 in case you got questions, whether it's about the definitions, the actual questions, identifying the diseases, which is this part right there. Until then, guys, keep healthy, keep safe, and I hope that you're enjoying our kinda break. Alright, see you tomorrow. Okay, yeah,